Yo, what's going on, my fellow weebs? Corner here, and welcome back to the channel. So another maintenance has passed, meaning I have another update video for you guys today. But before we jump into that video here, as always, I'm Corner primarily cover PSO2 content. In case it's your first time watching one of these videos, you're asking yourself, why would I sit here and listen to this guy read me information I have already or can already read myself? You're absolutely right. Go to ngs.ps2.com or pso2.com/players. Scroll on down, and everything important usually is going to have a little red, dot next to it, basically the newer stuff, right? So in case you're curious, you can check this out. You don't have to wait for my video to go live, but in case you're someone like many of you guys who are watching my videos are, you don't like to read this information yourself, or you much rather hear someone else talk about it and give their thoughts on whatever it happens to be or whatever is important, then kick back, relax, toss this up on a second monitor, and let's get started. So things off, we have this is just the update information. I usually explain that. I didn't listen. You're gonna have to cut me some slack. I am recording this at 3 o'clock in the morning. I literally got home at 3 a.m. So it's been a rough past couple of days, but I'm fine. I'm okay. It's just people have needed me a lot recently, and that requires me not to get a lot of sleep at the moment, unfortunately. But I digress. Moving on. So 23rd, Nameless City Exploration Update. So Great Rappy Suppression Trial will occur. Usually this is a pretty good way to actually make some money. So when I say money, I mean usually the Rappy trial comes along with what is it called? The beta reactors. So assuming the trial happens enough times, get enough Rappies, you'll be able to go ahead and get enough beta reactors to make it worth your time. Now, I will say in an optimal dex farm, usually the optimal dex farm wins out as you're room hopping, and normally there's someone holding rooms for 5 minutes. That way you're getting, PSE bursts and things like that sort. But if you don't have access to that, this is more or less your best case, like second option realistically, is farming these out as much as you possibly can. And of course, getting a hold of those beta reactors. Now, I don't know if these guys are going to be dropping things like Lexios and so on and so forth. So if they do, that is that little extra benefit of, possibly getting a Lexio to sell, or maybe a ring that's actually worth something. Though most rings are not these days, as they drop a little too often. But yeah, it's just like another thing you can do for a while. Realistically speaking, the other stuff that's around is still going to be around, still going to be very useful. And then of course, you can always jump back over to Ruins. So Ruins is a pretty nice farm these days. We do also have a revival AC scratch ticket for the hairstyles, and that's it. that's all there's going on for update information. It's mostly just a Nameless City update exploration thing. This is pretty much normally the case at the end of the month. We also do have the headline wave coming up. The headline wave usually is going to have, what's going on at the beginning of this month. But it's scheduled for the 30th. And this is going to be, let me double check real quick. Now, the 30th is a Tuesday, and updates tend to happen on Wednesday, so there's a good chance this is going to literally introduce the update that happens the following day. That's happened quite a few times, so just be ready for that possibility when we're looking at this. So we have our update this week, and then next week we have the headline wave, and then likely we'll introduce the update for next week. So it'll kind of come fairly quickly. But yeah, I digress. That's pretty much it for update information. We do have the updated investigative report. So in a previous update video, we read, about the players and the battles and things like that. We're gonna go ahead and read about what we have next, which is community, it looks like. So this is just some data that they have gathered based on how players have interacted with the game from the beginning of NGS launch, or from specific dates or things of that sort, to up to this point recently. It also includes JP and Global. So just keep that in mind. I think they also usually tell you when it includes JP and Global specifically, but yeah, that's so data from both JP and Global versions of the PS2 of NGS. PS2 data is not included. So this is just NGS. All right, so data on creative spaces. So when our NGS launch, hang on. Creative space didn't come out with NGS launch, so that's a weird thing to do from NGS launch, but yeah, whatever. Build part types released and total connects. I don't know what they mean by connects. I assume they mean like connected pieces or whatever. Yeah, it was weird. And of course, the most build parts, top 10 build parts placed in the past month. Interesting. So yeah, foundations make sense. Shape cube and glossy cube. Okay. Again, foundation. Generic pillar. Small cube. I'm actually sad not to see that a single Nox piece, dude. Actually, this is kind of close, right? Yeah, kind of close. Not really, but not a single Nox piece. Data on line strikes. So These are the top 10 most used cards. Interesting. So, Void Leader Luther, Alpha Research Team member Manon, the Girl Who Wove the Past Matoy, Warrior from Beyond, is it Khorshid? Probably saying that wrong. Braver Founder Azanami, Striver, I'm gonna say this name wrong, I'm just gonna skip it. Again, another wrong name, gonna skip it. Twin Intel Team Tia. Yo, they have Tia but not Patty. Brutal. Yo, my girl Kahori made it in. Oh my god. This is a criminal. And for those who know, you know. And fifth, Quintuplet Mary. And this is top 10 cards by win rate when used in decks. So Cuna cards tend to win. Windus cards tend to win. Catrelda cards tend to win. Raging Dragon Hadrid. Okay. I still gonna say that name wrong. Thule, Kanui. That wrong. That's the Gunner dude, yeah? Yeah, that's the dude that rocks the what are these called again? Oh, I forget the name. It's on the tip of my tongue. Kai would be so disappointed in me. Oh, Alice, the sword. Yeah, sword girl. And then Gunblade of Remembrance, Kai. Is that a... No. Yeah, no, that's fine. Total match of Line Strike played 3 million. Okay, interesting. And then some investigative comments. Out of all the 2100 build parts added to the game, the most used over the past months was by far the Shape Cube. I mean, that's pretty obvious. No wonder. I mean, of course that's what I used. All right, fashion is one I was actually kind of interested in. So, data on fashion. Most popular outerwear on Japan is the Leather Riders. Interesting. For Type 1, it's Leather Riders. For global, it's the Dia Cape. Y'all are using Dia Cape? And the second most is the Type 2 Dia Cape? I am legitimately surprised. Like, I can understand JPs, like the leather rider. I see this is actually really cool coats. I get this one. Like, that's a really good jacket. Actually takes care of some other things too. One thing I do like about this jacket is that for Type 1, if you ever have a situation where you don't like the sleeves on an outfit you're wearing, this will overwrite the sleeves and kind of like just kind of tucks them in here. So like there's no like spilling out over anything along those lines. This is actually a pretty cool outerwear. And of course it's not too further around the body, so you don't have to deal with any weird like shape stuff or whatever, you know. This one is a little bit surprising, but not really. Like, I sort of get it. This is extraordinarily surprising. Global Dia Cape Type 1? Really? Y'all just out here rocking capes for your outerwear? I mean, listen, I have my problems with outerwear, so like I get it, but like that's surprising. Type 2 most popular is the Feral Cat outerwear for JP and Global. JP and Global had the exact same thing. Outerwear version 2 and then version 1. And then for JP, it looks like the short fur coat took their second spot. And the... Really? I guess I just don't pay attention to you guys' fashion enough, man. This is over the course of a year? Surprising. Okay. Let's see, the most popular base wares for Type 1 in Japan. I am thoroughly surprised this is the one. But I sort of get it. I get this one. I understand this one for sure. And this one again for sure. Like, I get it. The Rhapsody stuff just looks good. All right, for Global. Okay, yeah, this is pretty solid. You know what? I'm part of the problem when it comes to these baggy pants. I like these. It's funny that they're called baggy style because they're not really that baggy. They're actually pretty tight. And then the Style Formal 1 is actually really, really cool. That's actually a really cool base wear. Well, Global is showing its Global is showing its colors for Type 2 base wear. Look at Japan's first two, the cardigan suit and stuff. Like, dude, look at this, and then look at Global's number 1. Like, bruh. And then number 2 is only slightly better. Like, come on, man. I mean, JP got there eventually with their third version, but like, brother, I know you're probably thinking, well, the global type 1 also was just shirtless all the time. Listen, that's normal for type 1, okay? Like, we don't like to wear shirts, but like, bruh, our global type, the titties are basically almost out. Like, you barely covering them, right? These are just really big pasties at this point. The way that most people wear them, actually. I'm not saying that's what this is, but that's the way people, like, most people wear them in this sort of way by being very, very interesting with the color choices. But anyway, moving on, popular body parts. This is another one of those, like, it's a vast difference for JP versus global, because Ruka body for JP as the #1 chest piece, body piece that's used, kind of crazy. And then this, you know, that's a choice. Fuji body, and okay, well that's the second most used one here, so that's like kind of something that's shared. Okay. Type 1 JP and global have the exact same most used body. It's almost 1-for-1 exactly the same. Only the third one is different. Interesting. Most popular hairstyles. This does not surprise me. This also doesn't surprise me. Neither does this. All these don't surprise me at all for global, because all these I remember them, and if you got them, like, you made bank. So it's interesting to see JP's is completely different, so that's kind of cool. Most popular accessories: solid eyelashes, distinct double-edged eyelids, and then dewy contacts. Distinct double-edged eyelids, solid lashes in the end. The fact that I know why this is like #3 for global kind of makes you side-eye me at the same time. But listen, all right, listen. I have heard the stories and I have seen how it works, okay? All I'm saying is, global, I ain't surprised. All right. Like, oh, they make boobs out of them? No, that is not the problem. Funny enough, that is probably the most innocent thing that is done with the End Sphere. And that's terrifying to think about. Moving on. Total fashion items to date: layering wear / cast parts 4,400, accessories 4,000, hairstyles and head parts 1,000, and other items 2,700. And then these are emotes used. Okay. On Japan, they mostly use Weaponoid Pose 1 versus Sit 4. Dance 47. I'm not going to talk about it. Clarice Craze Pose the 3rd. Lather Up, of course, and Rhythm. That's hilarious. Back-to-back pose, join hands. They also use Sit 4. It's very common. Anytime bath. Yeah, it's pretty par for the course. The most used stamp is, of course, Rappy Rare Drop. Yeah. And then, of course, Rare Drop Envy from Global. Y'all okay? Toy Congratulations, Sue Boast, Ash Praise. These are pretty standard. Also, this kind of like, I don't know, I get a JP vibe from this one, so that makes sense. Other data. Total Ed Meseta spent in the personal shops? Brother, how much? What is this number? Is that 159 trillion Meseta? Jesus Christ. Gamma Reactors 1 from Big Bang Scratch, 97,984. Nice. Number of times Crawford has fired the central cannon, 25 million times. Fun fact, that giant hole that is in the mountain range in Alio, if you were unaware, is because Crawford accidentally fired the cannon at full power instead of at minimum. You heard me right. He accidentally fired the cannon at full power. And we still leave him with the cannon. This is what concerns me. And then some investigation comments. Investigation, we reviewed popular fashion choices in the Japanese and global versions. Among the top favorites, we saw Feral Cat 2, a little bit of body, solid eyelash. Yeah, you know, just there's a couple other things here. It's kind of cool. It's cool. It's cool to see this data. It's cool to kind of like see how it differs from JP to global, or how it's almost 1-for-1 exactly the same in some situations. Like, you know, the massive differences in the hairstyle, where, you know, the outerwear for JP versus global was almost identical except for the third option. It's pretty cool. And then how different it was for JP versus global for outerwear for type 1. So that's pretty cool. But in case you missed, you know, the battle ones and the player ones, we read through this beforehand, so these are already still here. So in case you're curious about those, you're more welcome to share about yourselves. Moving on, just a real quick note. PSO2 days already passed, so I don't even know why I'm going over this, but it was here and had a little red dot next to it, so it's already over. So yeah, moving on, the 1st and the 21st of every month, so just be aware that on the 1st, have PSO2 day again. And we have the headline wave coming up on the 30th. As always, we do usually cover the headline waves we'll be watching. We'll also be doing a wrap up after the fact, or a recap, going over everything, and of course my thoughts at the very end of it. See if there's anything important to note here in the description. Oh yeah, the big thing here is that we'll be getting the roadmap. So hang on, this page will share information. Where is it? Furthermore, we'll introduce the roadmap for the second half of 2026 and beyond. Keep in mind, and beyond, meaning probably gonna go into 2027 as well. And I think that about covers everything. So if there's anything I missed, feel free to let me know in the comments below. Like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you want to keep with more. As always, thank you to the channel members as well as the Patreon members. You guys are fantastic. And I appreciate every single one of you. And I will see you all in the next video. Take care, my friends. Peace out.